And now back to Dave Sutherland on Newcastle's 2HD, where you won't miss a thing.
You have a good day today, Shannon, won't you?
And you too, Dave, and I'll see you tomorrow.
You will, and keep cool, won't you?
I will, you as well.
Good on you.
Hello, operator.
Hello? I wonder if you could help me. I've got a problem with my Go-Go-Mobile.
Beep, beep.
You're listening to Dave Sutherland on Newcastle's 2HD.
Yes, welcome back. Dave Sutherland in the chair, filling in for Richard King, who returns, of course, next Tuesday from his Canada and Alaska trip, and he'll no doubt have a lot of things to tell us about and all that sort of thing. Alrighty, I must admit I've got a little bit of nerves going through my body at the moment, because every afternoon I used to rush home from school and watch my favourite show of all time. I used to turn the telly on Channel 10 every afternoon about 4:30, and I'd watch Lost in Space, the adventures of the Space Family Robinson as they tackled aliens on distant planets and also travelled the universe on board the Jupiter 2. And I'm very, very honoured and privileged to have on the phone right now the lovely Angela Cartwright. Hello, Angela.
Hello there.
How are you?
Well, I'm doing good.
That's great. It's so great to be able to speak to you. I'm one of these people that grew up watching Lost in Space, and I love the show.
Well, it sure has long legs, doesn't it? I mean, it's been around for a long time, and people still seem to enjoy it.
Yeah, we've had quite a lot of interest, like emails and all that sort of stuff. But you actually, you go back to your first appearance on film was back when you were 3 years of age or something. Is that right?
That's correct. I actually played Paul Newman's daughter in Somebody Up There Likes Me, which was his first movie. And, it was the Rocky Graziano story. It was about a fighter, and I was his daughter.
All right, and then you were also on the Danny Thomas Show? And
That's right. I was on the Danny Thomas Show. I played his stepdaughter for 7 years.
Right.
And that had quite a long run, and went right from that into the Sound of Music.
That's right, because that led to that, and you were one of the Von Trapp children.
I was. I played Brigitte Von Trapp.
Yeah.
And, I just went to the sing-along here in Los Angeles. It's at the Hollywood Bowl every year.
Yeah.
And I watched the movie again, probably for the 9 millionth time. But I cannot believe how I get suckered in every time. There's something about this movie, besides the Hollywood Bowl being packed to capacity, and all these people singing along with the movie and just, loving it.
Yeah.
It's just such a great feeling. This movie just goes on and on and on.
Yeah, I think it's a feel-good movie, and it's just one of those, as you say, it's got the songs that you just can't help but sing along to.
And everybody seems to know the words.
Yeah.
And I don't know about in Australia, but here in America, almost every kid in school, has played one of these characters at some time or another, if they were interested in theater at all.
Yeah.
Because you're able to cast so many kids in the part, so it's kind of ideal for, school productions.
Yeah, and I believe that you guys have reunions regularly in that.
We do. We get together. We are all over the world. Nikki Hammond lives right there in Australia.
Yeah.
So that's how far away the family's divided up. The rest are in the United States.
Yeah.
But we're getting together actually October 5th at a Hollywood show, a signing show. And we're really looking forward to that.
I got to meet Mark Goddard back in, I think it was 1997. He came out here to Australia, and I met him at Bankstown Sports Club. He came out for various things to promote the upcoming movie at the time. When I was a kid watching the show, being kids, you'd play Lost in Space and all that sort of stuff, and I was always Don because I loved being the pilot of the Jupiter 2 and everything like that. But he seemed like a really nice fellow, and I got to meet him, and it's just I can't explain the feeling I feel right now talking to you, having watched you on the show for all those years and all that sort of stuff. What was it like on the set there? It must have been, I believe you all got along really well and everything like that.
I've been really lucky with the shows that I've been on. Most of the cast I've always stayed in touch with. Mark was a fabulous guy. He has a wonderful sense of humor, and I've always just enjoyed his company. He lives on the East Coast, so I don't see him that often, but when I do, I love it.
Yeah.
On the set of Lost in Space, we all got along. We had a lot of laughs on that show.
Yeah.
Lasted for 3 years.
Yeah.
Had all sorts of different aliens, all sorts of monsters, and all sorts of imagination.
Yeah. Because the first season was so serious and like genuine science fiction, and then it sort of went a bit camp like Batman, to compete with Batman or something, I believe.
Yeah, I think starting the second season, we all went, well, wait a minute, what's going on? Because you're right, the first season was, besides being in black and white, it was totally serious. It did capture the imagination of a family going to outer space, which was kind of, happening at the time with, moonwalks and the outer space was kind of really grabbing people's imaginations. And then the second season, it went to color, and it felt like we were in a Peter Max poster or something. And it was, a lot more campy.
Yeah.
And I'm not sure if that was a decision the network made, because we were up against Star Trek.
Right.
And that seemed to be taking a more serious route. Whether that was really the reason it changed, I don't know. I'm not really sure about that.
I remember one of the early episodes, My Friend Mr. Nobody, where it sort of centred on the Penny Robinson character.
I love that one. That's my favorite show, actually.
I was going to ask you.
Lost in Space.
Yeah.
It kind of had a little moral at the end.
Yeah.
It was beautifully done. It was very noir feeling, didn't it kind of feel very cinematic? And it was a cool episode, I thought.
Yeah.
I dug doing it. I was talking Nobody, but that was the name of the show, So.
Yeah, it was a good episode.
My Friend Mr. Nobody. So, there you go.
I heard, I watched a special that they did on it. It was basically they were talking about the worst episode ever, and they were saying the Great Vegetable Rebellion in the last season, season 3, that everybody hated doing it because the writers apparently just ran out of ideas or something.
Well, it is something to be known as the worst episode ever, I think, in TV Guide's opinion. It was pretty dreadful. Talking carrots and celery, it just shows that the show had gone to a different level at that point. But there's something to be said for being on something that was so campy, and, it did bring a lot of joy to a lot of people. I hear it all the time that, kids grew up watching it, and it just, they enjoyed it.
Yeah, well, it ran for about 20 years here in repeats every year sort of thing on Channel 10 over here in Australia, and it was always very, very popular, and they still had reunions, and they had Lost in Space clubs here in Australia and all that sort of stuff, so it obviously had a huge following.
Really? I came to Australia, Sydney, for The Sound of Music at one point.
Right.
But I actually realized that Lost in Space, I think there was like a parade or something in Lost in Space, people dressed up in Lost in Space costumes, and I didn't realize that it had been so popular there.
Yeah.
So, and that's amazing, isn't it? It's a great feeling to know you touched different parts of the world,
I heard that June Lockhart was quite trendy, and she took you and Bill quite often, Bill Mooney, to different rock concerts and all that sort of stuff. Is that true, or is that just one of those?
It is true. She was very trendy, very... she loved rock and roll. She was very young at heart.
Yeah.
And we loved it, Yeah. She also had a daughter that we used to hang around, so we used to be able to, Bill Mooney and myself, we used to be able to go to, backstage concerts that she had gotten tickets to and stuff.
Yeah.
And she was very much a wordsmith. I don't know if people really know that, but she has a fabulous vocabulary. And, she called me on my birthday this year, and I got to tell you, she sounds like she's 20 years old.
Really? Yeah.
I mean, it's amazing that she just is so everlastingly young. It's really quite amazing.
Now, you're a photographer these days.
I do photography. I do art also. I incorporate my photography into my art. And that's kind of that, and is kind of the path I've been taking. But I also have been writing books, and I have a couple of art books that are out. But I've also been working on a project with 20th Fox in their archives. And that book will be out the end of next year.
Yeah.
And, you can find out all the stuff I'm up to. You can follow me on Twitter. I'm on Facebook. And also, my website, Angela-Cartwright.com, or my art one.
Oh, that's terrific.
Which is cartwrightstudio.com. And you can just sign up and, for my mailing list if you want, or just keep checking back and you can see all the stuff I'm up doing.
Terrific. That sounds great. So it's all looking good. So actually, how did it all start for you as far as like getting into the business and everything like that? Because to start at 3 years old, that's incredible.
Well, we were born in England. My sister Veronica, who's also an actress, and myself. My parents dreamed of coming to America. They just always wanted to come here. It was like the land of opportunity.
Yeah.
So we got on a boat, and we did. It sounds like we rowed, but we didn't. We got on a ship, as I meant to say, and came to America, came down through Canada, and we happened to move next door to a woman who had a child that was in show business.
Right.
And she got to talking with my mom, and we went to see the agent that this woman had her child with, and she took us, and we started working right away, both my sister and I.
Wow.
And, you know, my sister is a very accomplished actress also. You might have seen her in Alien or... she's done a million things.
Yeah, because you've been...
She's on a new series now called Resurrection.
Oh, right, okay. And you've been in a few movies too over the years.
I have. You know, I have basically lately gone more into my art and my writing.
Yeah.
And so nothing really super recent as far as movies, but, you know, I don't know. I feel like I kind of did my life backwards.
Yeah.
You know, I started so very young, and, you know, there was a lot of other things that I wanted to pursue and look into.
Yeah, because
I'm not closing the door there. Me again soon.
I remember watching a movie called Beyond the Poseidon Adventure, and I wasn't aware you were in it until I was watching it, and I thought, that looks like Penny from Lost in Space. And then, blow me down, it was you. And I thought,
it was me.
Yeah.
Yes, I was the love interest to Mark Harmon.
Yeah.
And, boy, that was an adventure. It was definitely beyond that.
It must have been a lot of fun doing all those shows and all that sort of stuff. And, it would have been a really good time of your life.
It was. You know, it was hard work, too.
Yeah.
But it was also... I know I had experiences that others have not had, and I've had a lot of opportunities which, you know, have been great. So my life has been a lot of fun and really quite terrific so far.
Terrific. Look, thank you very, very much. I can't thank you enough for giving us the time to talk to you this morning, and this morning our time, your afternoon time. And as I say, or as you said, if anyone wants to see what you're up to now, they can go to your website, which is angela-cartwright.com.
Yes.
And they can check out that, or you're also on Facebook and see what you're up to and see some pictures, etc.
Right. All those links are right there on the page, so you can just go to all of them from that website.
Terrific. All right, well, thank you very, very much again. I can't thank you enough for your time, and all the very best, and keep in touch.
I would love to. I've got to come to your beautiful country again. I enjoyed myself so much last time.
Terrific. Good on you, Angela. Okay.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you very, very much. That's Angela Cartwright from Los Angeles, live from Los Angeles, and of course from Lost in Space. What a pleasure. What a lovely lady. All right, and if you'd like to find out more about it, just go to her website. All the W's, angela-cartwright.com.